one, I love reading my comments. I love answering my comments, and I love it when you give me really good suggestions in the comments. And somebody, and I'm sorry, I can't remember who, recently requested I talk about my favorite high-end products, what I use more often than not. And I'm happy to do that. Obviously, I'm filming it right now. But I feel like I need to justify this like this. So, in the very beginning of my YouTube career, so to speak, my focus was primarily drugstore because that's where my budget was. And honestly, I could probably still stick with that. I could be happy with my makeup for the most part with a full face of drugstore makeup. It wasn't that I was unhappy using drugstore makeup, but when you, like any of us, watch tons of beauty videos and you see all the high-end stuff, you always want to try the next shiniest, prettiest, most expensive item, right? So I did, of course, as my budget changed, started buying more high-end things. Now, I don't care how good the high-end product is, there are some things I use every day that are drugstore that I will never not use. Sorry for the double negative. For instance, my eyeshadow primer from Wet n Wild, I've stocked up on it for eternity, and I cannot comprehend a high-end brand doing as good as a job, as well, whatever. It won't perform as well. There you go. So there's things like that, you know, I could wear a drugstore foundation probably for the rest of my life. I can think of 3 or 4 that if I had to wear those instead of what I'm about to show you, that would be okay. However, we all like to have choices, and given the option of drugstore or high-end, sometimes the high-end product, if you can afford it or it fits into your budget, is definitely worth the splurge. And that's another thing that I want to point out, that I'm particularly picking these items, one, because I use them almost every day, but also because if you are going to splurge on 1 or 2 things or add a few things to your collection, these are the things that I think are definitely worth the money. So let's start with the face. I am wearing something from everything on the table in front of me. So my foundation, not going to be a big surprise. It's the Guerlain Lingerie de Peau. I'm wearing the shade Amber Claire. That's my winter shade, for those of you who are wondering. This is probably the most expensive foundation I could have found. No, it's not. But it's up there. It's over $60, I believe. And I like to grab it during a VIB sale if I can. But honestly, I buy it when it's not on sale if I run out, because I will never be without this. Like I said, I have some favorite drugstore foundations. In fact, I've been wearing them more often than I've been wearing this. But this will always be, until they come out with something better, my favorite foundation. As far as concealers go, I do now prefer high-end concealers. I feel like I have more options in shade ranges, and there are more options in texture and longevity that drugstore cannot compete with. And the 3 that I wanted to show you are 3 very different for different things. So I use this for both under eye and blemishes. This is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Concealer. I use it in the shade 01 Light, like pretty much for my whole face. Right now, I bump up to 02 in the summer. I have not found a drugstore concealer, excuse me, that covers as well and that stays on as long. There's a reason it's called Double Wear. So this, without a doubt, this has been in my collection even way back in the day when I first started YouTube. It's a really good concealer. Now, I keep this one more in my purse for touch-ups if I need it. This is the Clarins Instant Concealer, and if I just want a real light coverage, or I want to be able to build on top of powder that's already been set, this is the perfect concealer for that. And then for under eye brightness, that I will layer, I use this every day and I never list it in the description box. I always layer this either over or under my under eye concealer, just depends what I feel like that day. And this is the MAC Prep+Prime in Radiant Rose. It's a sort of a pink undertone. Mine is a mess. This is my second tube. These things last a really long time. Like I said, I use this every day without fail, and I'm only on my second one in 2 years. Continuing with face, to set my face, yes, there are some pretty good drugstore options, but I have dry skin, and so it's really hard to find a good drugstore powder that doesn't get cakey. And I want a powder that still lends a bit of a satin finish. I don't want to gleam, I don't want to glow like a disco ball. I don't want glitter, but I want sort of a satin finish to my skin. And I haven't found anything that I like as much as the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in Diffused Light. I can't believe this thing is still going. I mean, it did come with this chip. I don't know if you can see it, but it did come with this chip. So I didn't do that. But it's been dragged all over the place, and it's holding up really well, and I have not hit pan on this yet. But I set my makeup pretty much every day with this guy here. Speaking of Hourglass, it's a great brand. I haven't used any of their lip products or their foundations or any of the other stuff, but the powders, the Ambient line, I am a huge fan of. And the bronzer that I reached for, I found a close dupe, but not quite as good as the Hourglass Luminous bronzer. This is the lighter of the two shades. And it just, like I said, it doesn't get cakey. It blends really well. It's one of those powders that you can put on too much and easily blend it out and make it not so heavy. And I think it's just because it's so finely milled and goes on so lightly on the skin. It's really, this Hourglass Ambient line is unbelievable. If I do want the impact of a really glowy, I don't know what other word to use, highlighter, just a lot of impact, Becca makes the best. And whether it's the famous Champagne Pop by Jaclyn Hill, or look, I got this little bitty one I just ordered a little kit. I don't know which one this is. I will put it in the description box below, but this is the one I'm wearing today. And you can see the sheen. You can see how reflective it is in the light here. It's more of a, I want to say this is, it has the teeniest of writing. Who can read this? Anyway, nobody makes them like Becca. There's nothing in the drugstore that comes close to how soft it is, how pigmented it is. It almost feels like it's a cream, and just how much shine you get from this little thing. However, if you want a more subtle glow and you are over the age of 25, Hourglass has just recently come out with their strobe lighting powders, and this is the one I love. It's very similar. I started with this on my face, and I said, no, I need to kick it up a notch for filming. So I did layer the Becca on top. But this is the Brilliant Strobe Light, and I've talked about this in my January favorites, and it has a golden sheen to it. There's also the iridescent one, which is a little more cool toned, but these are beautiful and pretty. I wouldn't say completely subtle. You could blend it out, but a lot more day wearable, much more appropriate for an office setting or more mature woman. And these are even more finely milled, I think, than my beloved Kevyn Aucoin Celestial powders. And what's really nice is these come in a lot of different colors. So depending on your skin tone, warm tone, cool tone, dark skin, light skin, you just have a lot of variety. And that's, I think, where the high-end products beat drugstore, is the color selection is generally much better in the higher end stuff. So if you've watched my channel for any length of time, you know my love for Clinique Cheek Pops, and I'm wearing the shade Ginger today. And I have to get the Pink Pop one. It's a newer shade. If anybody has it, let me know what you think of it. That is my next blush purchase for sure. But I just love the Clinique Cheek Pops because they have that sheen to them that I cannot get from a drugstore blush, and they're sort of translucent, so you can build the color, but it's really flattering on more mature dry skin. I just love them. I fairly recently got into Tarte. Shockingly, this one called Blushing Bride is one of my favorites. This is a YouTube made me buy it purchase. Is this Blushing Bride? Yes. There's also one called Natural Beauty that's even darker. It's like a red. It's red. But when it's the similar consistency to the Clinique ones, they are pigmented, yet you can blend them out to be sheer, and they just give you this beautiful wash of color, and they last all day long. Same with the Clinique ones. They have a lot of longevity to them. So I'm gonna pay for it. They need to really work hard for me. And then my last favorite, shouldn't be surprised, is Hourglass. Their blush powders. Is that what they're called? Lighting blush, ambient lighting blush. This one is Mood Exposure. They're just, again, it's that sheen, barely there, color to your skin. There's a great range of color options. There are some really bright ones. There are even lighter ones. Ethereal Light is one of my favorites. And they just wear well on my skin. And I have not been able to duplicate that with a drugstore blush. I could throw out my entire eyeshadow collection. I'm not saying I'm doing this. Let's just make clear. We're speaking figuratively. I could throw out my entire eyeshadow collection, keep my Physician Formula matte quads, and keep all three of my Too Faced chocolate palettes, and I would be fine. I won't go on and on and on. This is the newest one from the Too Faced chocolate bar collection. I'm wearing it today, and I promise tutorials will come. But these are the best. These are just the best eyeshadows. There are more expensive ones on the market, but these I think rival anything I've used from Dior, from MAC, Chanel. I love the pigmentation. I love the range and texture. I love the color options. I love Too Faced. So Too Faced chocolate bar palettes, and actually the other eyeshadow palettes I've used from Too Faced, the Natural Eyes palette I love. I just haven't found drugstore ones that hold up as well and that give me that color range and give me this texture that I love so much. I was introduced to the Lancome, I just have a few of them here, the Lancome Drama Liqui-Liners, I believe. Why can I never, yeah. These are the Lancome Drama Liquid Pencils. They are just pencils. They're the same as Rimmel. The difference is there's a lot more colors to choose from, although I don't know that I will ever use this pink one. And they are creamier than the Rimmel ones, and they set even better than the Rimmel ones. So if I had to choose, and I do choose every day, and it's another thing I rarely list in the description box, but I usually am wearing one of these pencils as my eyeliner pretty much every day. I love mascara. I'm learned finally how to put on false lashes, but I still prefer to just wear mascara. And there are some pretty good drugstore mascaras, but I'm really picky on the mascara front because I have contact lenses and my eyes water from time to time. So, and I hate waterproof, and I want a mascara that's really black and that really gives me a lot of volume and a lot of length, but doesn't flake and is easy to wash off with just my regular like Bioderma and my face cleanser. That's a tall order. And did I bring both of them? No, I didn't. There are two that I go back and forth. One is what I'm wearing today, the Clinique, any of the Cliniques, but Clinique Chubby Lash is my current favorite mascara from Clinique, and Lancome. Those two companies knock mascara out of the park. I've tried Guerlain, Dior. All the boxes that I have to tick, Clinique and Lancome are the only ones that tick all those boxes for me. I love these. Another eye product that I feel the drugstore does not do as good a job as the high-end is eyelash curlers. So these are limited edition. I don't know if they're still available. If they are, I will link them below, but I have the normal ones as well. These eyelash curlers are by Uemura, and I find that no other eyelash curler I've used, and I started using like Revlon and Maybelline and whatever you could pick up at the drugstore. It doesn't pinch my lashes. It fits my eye shape better. The curl holds longer with these. I don't know what magic they put in them at the factory, but Uemura, amazing eyelash curler. So as far as lipstick goes, I do love drugstore lipstick. Not a shocker, Milani is my favorite drugstore brand. But there are two brands that I wear as much or more, and those are, shockingly, Butter London, the Lippy, I think they're called the Bloody Brilliant Lip Crayons. I call them Lippies. Yes, they are. The Lippy Bloody Brilliant Lip Crayon. These things, I was absolutely shocked because I could take or leave their nail polish, but these lip crayons come in, I wish they came in more colors, but they're creamy and pigmented, and they last forever on your lips, and they never dry my lips out. I have no idea what magic is in these things, but these are amazing. If you only try one of these things, really, go to Ulta, I think Nordstrom has them, and just give it a test and on the back of your hand and see how long this thing lasts. They're unbelievable. And when I have an event or an important dinner or something, these are the ones that I reach for because they last forever on your lips, and but they don't dry you out. And then the last lip product that I just adore, and I'm a little biased because I did help make the promotional video for them, are the Clinique Lip Color Pops. I'm wearing Love Pop today. They're wonderful. They're moisturizing. They last a really long time. They have a beautiful color range from nudes to neutrals to really bright ones to just this. If you're lucky enough to live in the UK, they came out with, I think, 8 or 9 new shades that are only going to be available in the UK. There's no plan to release them in the United States, which really stinks. But I love these. I love them. 2 other things I want to talk about that are high-end that I won't budge on, I will never go back to using drugstore again, is hair products and skincare. I'm not talking about shampoo. I'm talking about the tools. So those are the high-end products, not only that I use all the time, but that I really feel are worth buying. Thanks for the request. I hope that this was what you were looking for. I love to get requests. Please don't be shy. Go ahead and leave any you have in the comments, and I keep a little notebook and I write all the ideas down. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all your support, you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, I just wanted to make a pretty quick video about a brand that used to get a lot of hype on YouTube and doesn't really get the love it deserves.